helicopter crash near Jackson, Mississippi. 3 people deceased. A horrible, horrible accident. Here are the details about that situation.
AirCare 3, our AirCare helicopter based out of Columbus, made a patient transport earlier today. They refueled and were traveling back, and shortly afternoon today, we received notification that the helicopter went down. We have had confirmation from law enforcement officials on site that there are no survivors. There was not a patient on the helicopter at the time. There were 3 crew members. Their families have been notified, and we want to express our deepest condolences. The entire medical center family is heartbroken over this. We also want to express our concern and sadness and support for the AirCare team here at the medical center. This is the crew that responds to emergencies all across the state, and to see them today to respond to one of their own was just something you can't put into words. We are sad to report this news. This is a tragic day for the medical center. That's the end of my statement.
Okay, take questions. Are these young people and their families? Do you say anything about them, the crew?
So there were 3 crew members on board, 2 medical personnel and 1 pilot. The families have been notified. At this time, we are not releasing any names. We are maintaining that confidentiality out of respect for the privacy of the families and the individuals involved.
And at this time, do you know the cause of the crash? Is it being investigated?
It is being investigated. We do not know the cause. FAA is here, NTSB, they are running an investigation. And so at this moment, that's all I can say about any kind of cause or reason. We simply don't know. But the officials who do these investigations, the investigation is underway.
You've lost your employees. Is it another company that actually runs the helicopters and maintains them?
So we have a helicopter partner, MedTrans, and we lease this helicopter from MedTrans, and the pilot is employed by MedTrans. They are an amazing partner, and we've had a long-standing partnership. In fact, a real point of pride has been our safety record. In the history of our helicopter program, this is our first crash. On a normal day, I'd be so happy telling you that. That news today sounds awfully hollow and unimportant, but safety is a top priority for all involved.
So this is a well-maintained aircraft?
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry I'm late. I want to get some information from you concerning this, as a matter of fact. Can you tell us exactly from the beginning, if you can?
So I don't mind saying it again, that today we had a terrible day at the medical center. We learned in the early afternoon that AirCare 3, our helicopter based in Columbus, had transported a patient. They had refueled and they were headed back out. And shortly, it was in Madison County, shortly, after leaving here, the helicopter went down. There were multiple law enforcement officials on site, as you might imagine, and we did receive confirmation that all 3 people on the helicopter, the pilot as well as 2 healthcare crew members, were deceased. There were no survivors.
No cause has been determined as of right now, ma'am?
That's correct. No cause is known at this time, and investigation is underway.
Was everybody on board a UMC employee?
2 of the members on board, the healthcare team members, were UMC employees, our AirCare employees. The pilot is employed by MedTrans, our helicopter partner.
And where did they go down?
It was out in remote Madison County.
Were they on a run on call at that time?
They were returning to base after having delivered a patient. So I've made the point, but just to make that point again, there was no patient on board.
How big is this family, this AirCare family? We're talking about hundreds of people?
So The family impacted is certainly hundreds of people. AirCare is housed here with our Mississippi Center for Emergency Services. This is our team that responds to disasters, our MedCom team that manages patient transfers, and it's part of our general sort of emergency services. So, but I would suffice it to say that the entire medical center family feels this loss.
Do we know an age on this particular helicopter and how long you've had it?
We do not.
Yeah, how many helicopters does UMMC like normally have?
We have 4 helicopters that are stationed around the state, and we have a very busy helicopter service. We have one of the busiest medical transport helicopter services in the country. There's a big demand for those services. And I was saying just a few moments ago, you know, if we weren't having this news that we're having today, I would proudly tell you we've not had a crash until today. We have an outstanding safety record. In light of the events of today, it doesn't feel like a real bragging point. You know, that kind of goes out the window when something horrible like this happens.
Dr. Who will be conducting the investigation?
The FAA and the NTSB, National Transport Safety Board, they are the ones that conduct these investigations.
And I apologize, I was late, but maybe you answered this already. Could you tell me how many fatalities there were and what was the cause?
There were 3 fatalities. The helicopter went down. There was a crash. Nobody survived. There was a pilot and 2 healthcare staff members.
And do they know what caused the crash at this point?
It's under investigation.
Can we say, was there any radio traffic from the air back to MedCom about what was going on at that point in the bird?
All of that is part of the investigation.
Okay.
And what's the next step for you all, ma'am?
So the next step is we already are engaged with the parties that are doing the investigation, and we will continue to be engaged with them, and hopefully we'll all be able to learn, you know, what happened. But certainly our most immediate step is trying to support the families involved, the families of the individuals that lost their lives today, as well as the families here at work who cared about these healthcare professionals.
And have you released the names and their positions of the victims?
We have not. The families have been notified, but we are not releasing names just to protect them and their privacy.
You said they were based in Columbus. Do they actually live in Columbus as well? Can we say that?
No, they don't all live in Columbus. Yeah, yeah.
And part of the flight track that we saw is that it stopped at St. Dominic's Hospital and then flew away from that. Do you know any?
I cannot confirm that. That may have just been a glitch in picking up where somebody's tracking from. We don't have any information that the helicopter stopped at St. Dominic's.